So off and rolling in the midweek from Bloomington. Indiana looking for their first win against Minnesota since 2014. Gophers 3 back of the top of the Big Ten standings, with Wisconsin and Nebraska to come later tonight. And extended rally to start the night, and it's Schaffmaster poking it through the middle to begin. I like that you bring that up in tandem with her putting a ball down, too. She said that that's part of getting the middles more involved, is her being a threat at the net, too. Melanie Schaffmaster. There's Heidi Miabe. Paula Sarame with the dig. And right back to Miabe, and right back at Sarame.
Want to make sure you have a good seed coming in, because there's a lot of teams that could sneak up on you on those early rounds.
And Schaffmaster with her second kill of the night.
It's been hard to find some consistency with them, get that offensive rhythm down, but you'll see them tonight. They rely a lot on their outsides, but that was a focal point for them too, was getting those middles involved. And when you don't have that time in practice to do it, you got to kind of figure it out during games.
There's Samity.
None of those defenders are going to be.
You're in awesome times, the power of Samity, and then smart shot like that. Shea Rubright out of the middle with the block for Minnesota.
She's a little more offensive than them. Her blocking isn't necessarily what's keeping her in that game. It's her offensive firepower, but occasionally she'll get those few blocks in there as well.
There was a lot of Ellie Huseman early in the season. Rubright getting healthier and healthier as the weeks go on. Only like 3 errors that Minnesota made the entire match. There were a couple more than that, but not much. Very, very clean match for Minnesota in that first match a couple of weeks ago that they won in 3 against the Hoosiers. Stephanie Samity splits 2 in the back row. 3 kills early for Samity.
Some of those blockers at some points.
Of course, this is a spot where she's serving. We are going to see her out of the back row quite a bit. There's Edwards on the serve. Nearly snuck it in there for the ace. And Cam Hayworth reloading it for Maddie Saris. Right back to Saris. And a tough ball in the back for Kilkelly to handle, but kept it up. So there's the middle ball for Hayworth. Kilkelly got to it on the pancake. Wilkinson Hall crowd thought it was down. And a big rip on the outside ends that point for the Hoosiers. A big couple of matches here lately.
We had a good pancake from CeCe McGraw, but not enough to stop the Hoosiers from going off. And
2 of the last 3 matches coming in, she's had 10 plus. First time this season where she's had 10 plus kills in this limited stretch. And Katie Myers puts it down. There's the middle involvement for Minnesota. One of those big kill matches we were talking about was the first one against Minnesota, where she had 10. Hit an efficient number 2. And they got her a set again, but steered that one out. Coming from a different angle, a different person than she's used to. Instead of coming from the second ball on Schaffmaster. That's more traditional, and a more traditional result with Schaffmaster hooking up with Miabe. A weapon she is with the serve. Putting the pressure on Minnesota. And Miabe leaves no doubt, getting Saris off the service line. You had a lot of attention on that other pin. Before Miabe put it down, and there's Edwards. Samity bangs that ball down to get Minnesota to 15 first. And that's coming up in about an hour and a half here on Big Ten Network. Cannot wait for that one tonight. And a good start for Minnesota coming out of the timeout, extending their lead to a 4 spot with a CeCe McGraw ace. Hayworth going for Colheed. Schaffmaster had the first contact. And run down out of the back by Armstrong. So free chance for Schaffmaster, Minnesota. And Stephanie Samity finishes off the point. Hayworth for Edwards, looking for hands, won't get it. Potentially donate and get involved and be part of the change. So out of the timeout, Indiana went to Colheed, and Minnesota goes to the middle with Katie Myers.
Get a good transition and take a good swing on the ball.
Well, through 2 timeouts, Minnesota has pieced together a 5-0 run, but Brianna Edwards ends it with a kill for the Hoosiers.
She's just hungry to get those kills.
That's over the top and down for Edwards. 2 there waiting for her. The artistry getting it inside. There's Geddes. Strong first set for Morgan Geddes. You can see the heavy arm for Geddes. Just been a matter of limiting the errors a little bit. Got involved in a block that time. Morgan Geddes. And a middle set for Colheed, turned back. Back in her home state tonight. Got somewhere between 25 and 50 friends and family members tonight. Not exact on the estimate, but her pass list is full according to her. Had 20 tickets that went out, including some IU students that were high school classmates. And Newcastle here tonight. And that's through the back row of Indiana. Minnesota up 7. Media timeout. Then Minnesota went on that 5-0 run. They put distance between themselves and the Hoosiers. Trying to close it out. And Shea Rubright with a bullseye to the back. So set point number 1 goes to Brianna Edwards. And Miyabe cross court. Sarame's there. Maddie Saris punches that past Wennis. A couple of out-of-system swings on both sides of the net. That time Miyabe had one. And that's into the block. Edwards going solo at the net.
Against Rutgers, she did such a good job of lining up, and here it is.
So back-to-back points for the Hoosiers facing set point. It's the 3rd one for the Gophers, and Stephanie Samity is denied. Wennis passes to Sarah's serve, and Heidi Miyabe hammers down a set 1 win for Minnesota. And Katie Myers knows that well with her serve. And that's out to Geddes, and Sarame punched that in, got it inside the antenna too. Then she's back to field the Samity swing. And too much heat coming from Stephanie Samity. And nobody home, and then Sarame was covering all sorts of geography. She was outside the court, back to the other side of the court. Nearly kept it up. And coverage from Hayworth, so she's out of setting. And Rubright couldn't get a big swing off. Miyabe off the net. And it's Geddes, punched up by Myers. So extended point here at 2-2 set 2. Maddie Saris into the cross court. Went at the middle, Myers, who's back there.
Finding a way to put the ball on her, going a bit above the block, a really good high swing by the outside.
Rare opportunity that she gets back there to do that. And Schaffmaster way off the net. Miyabe into hands. Saved by Samity. Right back at that matchup, and Miyabe beats 2. And again, it was Taylor Landfair that was out for 3 weeks, back in for a couple weeks. Miyabe hadn't played much, but Landfair back out 3 weeks again. And Miyabe shining. That's sent back by Rubright out of the middle. Maddie Saris over at C.C. McGraw. Keep feeding Miyabe. Sarame's there. And Edwards out of the back. Teetering a second for Wennis. Past a swing there for Wennis. And that's out. Ramelsburg.
Ball control from Jenna Wennis is pretty incredible.
Helps she spent some time last year as a 3-rotation back row player with some injuries.
That's what you love from your outsides. You want them to be some of the best passers in the gym, and those are the outsides that can be really big impact players.
And there's Wennis going overhead. Saris over the top. Rubright got a tip. Samity offers spot. Busy point for Armstrong so far for Indiana. And that's sent back down the net. And Samity and Rubright influenced that shot.
You look at someone like Samity is getting more attempts than most in this conference, and it's because she has the ability to put the ball down so often.
Well, that's out from Sarah.
Yeah, you know, I asked which hitters look at you and say, get me the ball, and she said, right off the bat, Stephanie Samity does that all the time. She knows when she's hot, she wants the ball, and the same thing with Jenna Wennis. When she's on one, she just demands the ball. Definitely the number one. I mean, the top two teams in the standings, some of the top two most efficient offenses in the entire country. It's going to be an absolute battle for every single point.
It's always loud, always engaged. A lot of red in there, no matter which way your loyalties shift tonight. It should be a ton of fun. Coming up right after our match, Samity and the Gophers extend their lead in the second set, up 7. And the Canadian played for the junior national team for Canada. Coming from Steve Aird's home country, likes to recruit up north. And coming from the Toronto area. And that's turned away. Rubright and Samity in there on the swing from Ramelsburg. It's been a very smiley second set for Samity so far. The 8 kills, a couple of blocks, a few non-traditional swings. And that one down to the floor for Indiana. And that'll get them smiling on their side with Westbeld into the match.
And they put her in, wanted to get something going, and Westbeld is pretty offensive.
It's been Westbeld at setter at some points this year, the more veteran presence. 6th-year player, transfer from Dayton. Cam Hayworth, the newbie, the freshman, a lot of the time lately. Jenna Wennis going line there for Minnesota. Trained and worked ad nauseum with. Of course, previously coached Micah Hancock at Penn State. So knows that serve well, but Stephanie Samity into the cross court. I'm sick of rolling and swiping and doing all that non-traditional stuff that was going down earlier. There's the patented power from Samity, and Shaftmaster has been a threat at the net tonight.
They're just going up so strong, sees no one's up with her, and just...
What do you think that was about? Little eye roll. Steve Aird was coaching her up a little bit. Katie Myers puts it down, but displeased with something, even though she just had the kill. Miabe off the hands. I had the stopwatch on my phone now, trying to time it up. Probably not real time though. A couple of seconds suspended in the air for ID Miabe. Shea Rubright out there, and Hoosiers trim it back down to 5. See hang time like that reminds you of maybe Kayla Caffey coming up in that Nebraska match next. She gets up, hangs in the air just like that. Stephanie Samity from the back row.
That's all I gotta say. You'll see it next.
Nice and concise banter. Thank you. And that's into the cross court with Westbeld in their setting. Saris rips the serve at Wennis. And that's Sarame keeping it up. Set a little bit off target. And that goes spinning off the block, down the tape. Shea Rubright scores again. Just 2 kills all this past weekend on just 8 swings for Rubright. Again, that goes back to the middle involvement question. Evergreen topic for this Minnesota team right now. And that's into Rubright's territory again. Ramelsburg swung it in there. There's Hayworth out of the middle, back in there in the front row setting when she played at Muncie, Indiana, here in the state. And another point for the Hoosiers. Paula Sarame with the serve. And Stephanie Samity took a little heat off of it, got it in front of Saris. So over that average. For much of the season, she's been over 5 kills per set. Had a chance to, finish above that 5 kill per set margin, just like Stacey Gordon did back in the day at Ohio State. Been a while in the Big Ten. Samity's got the ability to do it. And McGraw takes the second ball out to Samity. Dug by Saris that time. And Edwards into the block. Armstrong with the coverage. Wennis had the pass, goes opposite of her, out to Samity. Kill number 12 in the night for Minnesota.
Minnesota's net play this point just came up big time. I mean, just not letting the ball cross their side, and then Samity finding a way to finish it off. And I love the way she's just hammering the line. Hit a lot of cross-court shots, but she's really been going after that line.
And over 1,800 kills in her career now. And as of tonight, Stephanie Samity. And that's into the cross court for Jenna Wennis. Trying to rally him, especially in that first time out. After Minnesota had taken a big lead. Haven't been able to get over that 5-point hill yet. And getting late in the second set. Samity chips the block. And Edwards into the block. Samity stands up tall with Myers in the middle. Edwards a little tap. And Samity right next to Schaffmaster. Too easy with those two hooking up. Really tough to describe a lot of times. Stephanie Samity, I'm with you. Runs down the line. And McGraw was there. And with Westbeld back setting. Edwards rejected. Schaffmaster for Myers. Slicing shot dug by Sarame. And another block for Myers. Her and Samity. Big force on the blocking side late in the second set to close it out for the Gophers.
She's just trying to up her game in every way imaginable. Tonight, thrown in the blocks as well.
So set 3 begins with Samity and turning it up toward 20. There's number 14. IU with 2 of the first 3 in set 3. After Armstrong's serve, Sarame keeps the point alive. And free one coming. Push for Miyabe. Right inside the line. So trying to make it a 7th straight match with the double-figure kills for ID Miyabe. And the tap for Edwards. Funneled in there by Samity. Saris off speed. Schaffmaster gets down. Saris tips. Block picked up for Minnesota late set 2. And Hayworth back to Saris. Easy chance there for Wennis. Samity off speed. Armstrong got in front. And Saris been playing pepper with Wennis. And Wennis has responded every time on this point. Longest point of the night right here. Free ball for the Gophers. And that's Miyabe putting it close to it. Miyabe and Saris had multiple swings. Armstrong and Wennis had multiple digs on that point alone. Miyabe right back at Sarame. Gave the back row a chance, but fumbling into the chairs there for Miyabe. We're learning on the job for Indiana. And that is in, or out rather. Schaffmaster running over to bump set. And free chance for Hayworth in Indiana. Ramelsberg had it popped away by Miyabe. And Edwards, big rip. Big boom on the block for Miyabe. And Miyabe gets the swing. Sarame. Tremendous dig for Sarame. Hoosiers trying to score on it, but can't get it past the block of Miyabe right now. Paula Sarame to serve. And Jenna Wennis.
I feel like the IU student section always has some really funny bits in there. What did you have earlier? Let's get weird. I mean, they always they bring the fire. They bring the energy. It's really fun to play at Wilkinson Hall with them.
Katie Myers, Sarame with another dig where she leaves her feet. Jenna Wennis right into the lap of Saris.
A lot of times already this match.
Yeah, Sarame's covered a lot of court. Diving left, diving right. Miyabe pumps it past Sarame. And there was a touch at the net. Hayworth going back for Geddes. Couldn't get it past Samity. Sturdy platform for Samity, even though it went skewing away. And McGraw there on that dig. And Sarame with another one. And Saris, talk about pumping hands. Got that one in there. Colheed serves it for Indiana. And Samity blocked by Saris. Some of those middle skills from her international time showing up a couple times in the block. A competitive set so far. 8 ties, 4 lead changes. And another lead change with Samity coming back row. Double-double in every match this year except 3. That's how you get to almost 5 kills, over 3 digs a set. And there's Saris to that back corner. That's become a patented shot for her here in this set. Going into that first Minnesota match, they worked with Saris on hitting that high ball off the hands and playing it a little bit flatter. Worked for her for 8 kills tonight for Maddie Saris. Bathmaster to Miyabe. And he got a net called on Minnesota, so Indiana has the lead. Samity. Armstrong had the dig. Free chance now. And Miyabe bangs that through. Run to the Elite 8 in the NCAA tournament in March.
A good basketball program, and got to shout out AD Scott Dolson there. Good family friend of mine. So happy for him stepping into this program. I mean, worked his way up from basketball manager all the way up to AD. I mean, a story you don't see very often, but a great guy, great position for IU to be in.
Big Ten opener a couple weeks after that on Big Ten Network against Penn State. There's Hayworth showing off that lively arm she used in club and swipes it down to tie it for Indiana. What's the craziest thing you crashed into playing the back row?
Like other people. Our libero once, she dove completely over the, you know, at the back line, sometimes you have some barriers between the fans and all that. I saw her dive over that quite a few times during my career.
Usually they're kind about that, but then they go right back to yelling at you, I bet.
Depends where you are.
Right. And that finds the spot for Samity and Rubright, rather. Tried to quiz you on something else, but we already did matchups. Maybe we'll get into it again before this one's over. As Ramblesburg coming off the big attack match against Rutgers, 10 kills. And her biggest in about a month and a half. There's Jenna Wennis unleashing on that ball.
Situation, and it pays off.
Edwards crushes that one. Now Hayworth rips the serve, having a big impact, but Myers gets her off in a hurry.
One hand, a really tough spot to be in if you're a setter. Going up, you make the other players jump.
Hayworth sets Colheed this time. Got resistance from Myers. And Wennis flying in for that kill.
This journey that they've had.
Yeah, they'll have a 4th in a row at home on Saturday against Northwestern. You put in, how about you come through? There's a little Drake lingo going on there.
That man is the biggest Drake fan I've ever met. You go to his Twitter, I mean, it's like Drake, Canada, hockey, Justin Bieber, like everything.
Stephanie Samity serving, forced that timeout for Indiana. And Geddes came flying in there. Now Samity. Back to Geddes, dumped back. Wennis and Myers with the block. 5 big blocks for Katie Myers. Go with 4 kills. Her and Rubright have been involved in this 3-setter so far. And Geddes steers that one out. Touchdown lead for Minnesota. And still serving on a 6-0 run for Minnesota. And that's short, so Minnesota's run carries on, and they've spread this thing out by 8 now. 7-0 scoring run, and Minnesota also 7-0 this year when they've won the first 2 sets. And trying to close strong, and Edwards sneaks that one through to stop that run for Indiana. Shorter conversation, that trip to the bench between Edwards and Aird. Subbing out after another kill. Jenna Wennis scoots that down the tape. Another score to bring up match point for Jenna Wennis. The Gophers came in 7-3, trying to get to 8-3. See what happens a little bit later on tonight. Currently in 3rd place, and trying to dust off the series sweep of the Hoosiers this year. And Geddes sends it long, and Minnesota has the win on the road at Indiana in straight sets.